Welcome to the Pink Palace, my lovely friends.
I first discovered drag at 13. I didn't know what it was, but I knew I wanted it. Put on the wig and the makeup, and I'm someone completely different. I'm so pretty!
My drag name is Vanessa Shimmer, and she is just a force you cannot reckon with.
How do I parent a child that wants to do drag?
I never expected drag to be a part of our lives.
Oh my God, these are so cute.
These are problems I never thought I had to prepare for.
This is me, and you better like it. Bye.
Sometimes I just want to be a humble coffee salesman. Sometimes I just want to be a humble coffee salesman, but duty calls. And I've been putting off doing this video, to be honest with you, because it's just like, why does this stuff have to exist? And like, can we make entertainment without having to like put these kids in these weird positions where, you know, it's just like at some point somebody's pulling the strings, right? At some point, these parents need to stop living vicariously through their kids. At some point, their parents need to learn a new skill. And I have actually the perfect solution for them right now. And then this whole show can just go away. Huge shout out to this video sponsor, Skillshare. Are you considering working on yourself a little bit, getting a new skill, or sharpening an existing one you have? Looking at maybe some self-improvement, some time away from endlessly watching streaming shows? Well, meet Skillshare. It's an online community with thousands of online classes and members across 150 countries. Do you have a specific skill you're trying to learn? Skillshare is the perfect place to start. From photography and illustration to graphic design, freelancing, and more. You can find classes that will match your goals and interests. Your day-to-day is filled with tasks and endless to-do lists. Prioritize your self-care and wellness by using Skillshare as a way to invest in yourself, unwind, and relax. Skillshare has tons of benefits. It's ad-free, so you can stay in the zone while you're exploring new skills. There are new premium classes launched every week, so there's always something to discover. And the entire catalog is now available with subtitles in Spanish, French, Portuguese, and German. So get working on yourself. Turn off that TV, turn off those video games for a little while. And look, the first 1,000 people to use the link in the description or in the pinned comment and use the code TheQuartering will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. You've got nothing to lose. Use the link in the description and pinned comment below and get working on yourself. This via Blaze Media and several other outlets. Shocking new teen drag queen documentary from Tyra Banks on Discovery Plus. By the way, they own CNN. Plus, you have to pay for Discovery Plus. So, you know, if you're paying for Discovery Plus, this is where your money's going. Eviscerated online as grooming and amongst other things. A new documentary series showcasing the lives of 5 teen drag queens and their families is coming to Discovery Plus this summer, and it's already facing intense backlash from critics online. The series Generation Drag executive producer is modeling superstar Tyra Banks and is set to air 6 episodes in June. It follows the young aspiring drag performers as they prepare for their Drag-U-Taunt, a drag ball for young ones in Denver, Colorado. In a launch announcement last week, the production was described by the network backers as a heartfelt and joyous coming-of-age series that celebrate a group of amazingly talented teens who put their creativity, passion, and talent on center stage. But according to several commenters online, the show amounts to grooming and ought never be allowed on air. This is bad, tweeted Washington Examiner opinion contributor Nicole Russell in response to a post of the show's trailer, as many others on the platform vowed to cancel Discovery Plus over it. Yeah, I mean, it got 9 likes. I don't know. How come you're verified? Come on. But, you know, obviously you go the libs of TikTok, you see 17,000 likes. You see Sid in here. This is effed. we deserve this. You know, it's weird. You know, I get that being a kid is, I don't know, complicated at particular ages and things of that nature, and that in a normal world, you would think that there's like maybe nothing nefarious going on here or anything like that, and you would hope that that's the case. And you would hope that it's just this wholesome, these kids actually just like dressing up. Look, I've been to drag shows. I'm not gonna, again, like, this is one of those kind of points of inflection. I've been to them. They're entertaining, but they're not for kids. At least, like, can we agree to that? Like, you may have different opinions about it and you don't like them, and that's okay. I'm not saying like I pay money to go out of my way to go, but there's I don't know if it's still around anymore, but there's this bar in Milwaukee. I think it was called La Cage. And like on weekend nights they would have it. And like if we were out downtown, we would go, and it was a blast. But again, everyone in that room is at least 21. This whole, like, this is just like another kind of variation of the whole like library, the library, drag at the library and stuff like that. Like, there are just some things you don't need to, put on kids. Kids are going through a lot. They're going through enough. The world is weird and scary, and their bodies are changing. And like, do we really need to be like promoting this to that audience? My answer would be, I don't think so. I don't think that it's something that, these kids are coming by naturally. I think it's coming from consuming too much social media. It's coming from parents who want to be woke and live vicariously through their kids and things of that nature. This in the Washington Examiner, the drag kids trend is a train wreck about to happen. Last week, it was announced that on Discovery Plus will be launching a new show called Generation Drag, centered around the stories of 5 teens and their families, performers 8 to 18. We see kids primping and posing in brightly colored wigs, skimpy clothes, and winged eyeliner. I'm all for supporting children's self-expression, letting them experiment with different outfits and outlandish makeup. I certainly made some questionable decisions in my youth, they write. And as somebody who spent many of my formative years in drag clubs, interesting, I'm fully on board with the adults doing as they wish. Okay, so here's we come to an agreement here. But the trendiness of this culture is yet another way in which gender ideology and the transition of kids into the LGBTQ community is being glorified as forward thinking. Some boys will naturally gravitate towards the campy caricature of femininity because they are gender nonconforming. In the best case scenario, parents are merely supporting a child in their creative endeavors. But skeptics have a right to raise an eyebrow when children and their families are being rewarded with public validation and more in exchange for this attention and acceptance. You may wonder how this is any different than child beauty pageants. It's not. Both involve kids, in many cases, pouting and gyrating while wearing little clothes. One key aspect of drag culture is its over-the-top spicy nature, which is usually performed comedically and would be fine in the context of adults interacting with an adult audience. Kids, however, do not fully understand this dynamic, nor should they have to. 100% agree. Woke parents, this is a great article by Deborah So. Woke parents who are in favor of their gender atypical sons and daughters presenting in a stereotypical feminine manner would be horrified if their girls were to do the same thing. It's hypocritical. Indeed, in the name of consistency, anyone fawning over the idea of drag kids should be in support of teenage girls performing in a similar manner. I remember how straight people used to judge me, a straight woman, for hanging out with my friends who were drag queens. Now parents are all too happy to appropriate the culture as though it's been there all along. I mean, the trailer is just a disaster. It's these are just kids, and I would wonder who's kind of thrusting this upon them. I would argue it's probably their parents, and that's really where all of this starts and ends. Hopefully Discovery Plus learns the lesson that Netflix does. and that, you know, if you don't like this type of programming, certainly don't tune into it. But I would also recommend that, you know, you remember that when you give your money to Discovery Plus, this is what they're spending it on. I sincerely hope you were informed by this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.